Hey, welcome to Hear Us Out. I'm Paul.
And I'm Patrick.
And we're going to be talking about our top picks of movies for this decade.
That's right. We are going to do half the decade first. So this is a two-parter. You're going to have to tune in next week for the second half of the decade. This week we're doing 2010 to 2014, which is 5 years. You can do the math. I had to do it twice in my head just now. So we are going to pick our favorite movies.
Yeah.
We're also going to do the whole like, subscribe thing at the end, but I just mentioned it now. So if you want to do all that, do all that. But what does best movie of the year mean? It doesn't mean we're going to necessarily pick the Oscar-winning film. It doesn't mean it's definitely the best film that existed that year, because we haven't seen all of the films in any of these years.
Yes.
They're films that either meant something to us, we thought were really good, were amazing cinema experiences, or other. And we will explain as we go along why we picked our favourite each.
Well,
sound good?
Patrick has explained it quite well about how our criteria of picking these movies were.
I did good.
We should give him a gold star.
Yeah, send your gold star to me by hitting the subscribe button. It's automatically sends me a gold star.
Yeah, don't forget 2019, which is the last year of this decade that we're going to currently do, is also could be the last decade that we're in double digits of our subscribers. So if you want to help us out there, give it an old clickety click.
If you want to be our 101 subscriber, you want to get down there now.
So after plugging ourselves quite a lot, I'm going to go first in 2010.
Yes, please do.
Cool. So
2010. Sorry.
The more you know. Which good. So my top pick of the movie in 2010 is Buried.
You picked Buried?
Yeah, with Ryan Reynolds. Okay. Literally buried in a box, and he's the only character you get to see. It's an interesting kind of play on the fact that Ryan Reynolds has so much charisma, you can literally bury him in a box and then have other characters just call him, and it's a movie. So it was interesting.
Is there anything Ryan Reynolds can't do? Is there anything Ryan Reynolds can't do? Because I haven't found it yet.
Probably.
And I'm going to test him if I ever meet him.
So we also have some honourable mentions. I would like to mention The Book of Eli, which is the Denzel Washington film. It's an interesting film. Iron Man 2, of course. We get the Sorcerer's Apprentice, which I really enjoyed and I think a lot of people missed.
Which I haven't seen, so I'm proof that people have missed it.
Inception.
I have seen that.
Because it's pretty good. And Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh, good film.
So, and The Social Network, which is just a fantastic story put together. And then Tron Legacy, because the soundtrack and then just Tron, man.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you actually put Tron Legacy in your honourable mentions, because I didn't. And then when you said that you had, I was like, oh, damn it. Now, we haven't looked at all of each other's lists, but we just did talk 2010, and it was like, oh, yeah, Tron Legacy. Good call. And great soundtrack. You know,
it's a fantastic one.
Fair play to Daft Punk. So is it over to me for 2010?
Yeah, go for it.
So Buried was your top one. I'm going to build my way up to the top one because I only have 3 films chosen. So 2 honourable mentions and a pick. And that's because all 3 of these films are going to be my top pick. I know that's a real Weasley thing to do, so I have chosen the top. But my honourable mentions are Senna, the documentary about Ayrton Senna, which obviously means a lot to me, anybody that knows me. It's an amazing example of a documentary done well, and particularly done well for a movie theatre. It's an incredible... I went to 2 different cinemas to see it, and the bunch of people that were there both really loved it, and I was really, really happy and proud. I've also seen it like 40 times since then. It's great. What I think maybe the best film of that year is The Social Network. Aaron Sorkin at his best. Trent Reznor helping out in the soundtrack there as well, making an amazing score. It's just an incredible film all round. But my top pick is Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which was on your list, and I think could have been your tied top pick.
Very close. It was very close.
So I think Paul was being kind to me there, knowing that I was going to pick Scott Pilgrim. It is Edgar Wright masterpiece of style, substance, fun, joy, sadness, laughter, excitement, editing brilliantly. Like some of the transitions in that are just joy.
Yeah, just everything that Edgar Wright does well was a showpiece for that kind of, especially for like the more Hollywood-esque. Because he had like, I know we're going to, he had like Hot Fuzz and, you know, Shaun of the Dead and everything like that, which have great transitions and all and storytelling things, but and A World's End. But I think Scott Pilgrim really kind of showed, you know, thing on a. I
hate it when he does that. He nailed exactly what I wanted to say, which is this is the best example of a Edgar Wright film, particularly Hollywood style. So that's our choices. We have Buried and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World for 2010. And also Social Network, we should both just add in there.
A little bit there.
A little bit just there. So 2011, it's me then. So 2011. Yeah, we got to come up with something to put there now. What the hell have I done? My honourable mentions, Bridesmaids. Not because I think it's the greatest film of all time or even the greatest film of that year. It gave us Melissa McCarthy, and she's done so many great things since then. So I'm really glad and grateful for the film for doing that. Limitless was a lot of slick fun. You had that on your list.
Yeah.
And how much fun is Limitless?
Oh, it's one of the films that I've been able to watch over and over again.
Exactly. It's a really rewatchable film. Mm-hmm. And it kind of doesn't get less less enjoyable. You enjoy it as much each time. So good, props to Limitless. It was a great year because there's other things I'm going to rattle through a few. Moneyball was out that year. Captain America, The First Avenger, which I know is one of Paul's favourites. It's absolutely one of my favourites. It came out that year. There's not an awful lot of Marvel on this list, but I absolutely adore that film. But my choice for winner was Drive. And everybody gives out about our pronunciation in this, so you can look up the director if you like. His name is here. Nicholas Winding Refn. He made a fantastic film that when I left the cinema, I walked out feeling fabulous in such a heavy way, because it was a return to patient filmmaking. I remember at the time going, I just love that it wasn't in a hurry. A lot of people found it boring in places. I thought it was full of suspenseful, beautiful shots. It was editing, cinematography, everything brought together brilliantly in what was an excellent story. Gotta give Ryan Gosling props. He was amazing too.
You do.
One of the best supporting casts of that year, when you think that everybody remembers Ryan Reynolds, or Ryan, not Ryan, what's his name?
Ryan Gosling?
Ryan Gosling, thank you. I was about to say Ryan Reynolds.
So he's just on the brain.
The supporting cast. He's just too good. Supporting cast of that movie. Ron Perlman was a smaller player. When you have him as a smaller player, you're doing well. And Bryan Cranston. Like, come on. They were getting good cast.
Yeah, very much so.
So my choice for the year, Drive.
All right. So he's already mentioned my choice, which is Moneyball.
Ooh.
Moneyball is my top choice. It is hard to make statistics fun and entertaining. Moneyball does it really, really well, and also shows the change in baseball. I'm Irish, so I don't have full care about the baseball thing, but having Jonah Hill and which goes Brad Pitt, really be able to make me interested in changing the game of baseball through statistics and stealing and runs, buying runs kind of thing, was an interesting one.
It was awesome. Yeah, Moneyball, definitely a brilliant film that year.
My top honourable mentions are Super 8, just because J.J. Abrams, you're great, and it was an homage to Steven Spielberg.
We had somebody comment and make sure
Abrams. Like Abrams tanks.
Yeah, exactly.
Which goes, so Super 8, it's an homage to Steven Spielberg, so which I really enjoyed. Real Steel, which is the Hugh Jackman
boxing robots.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots kind of thing. It has a lot of heart. It's a lot of fun. The chemistry between the kid and Hugh Jackman are great. Atlas Shrugged Part 1, which is not the greatest film in the world, but it has an honorable mention because it is based on the book that BioShock and System Shock took a lot of stuff from.
Oh, that's interesting. I haven't seen that actually.
And then, which goes quickly, Limitless, as you said, The Adjustment Bureau, Battle for Los Angeles, and X-Men First Class were also that year. They should be mentioned.
X-Men First Class is an interesting honorable mention because it did something pretty spectacular. It did that kind of, we're rebooting a franchise with almost a prequel nature, and pulled it off
really
for
well.
That film.
And so much so that they started being able to merge it with the next group. So it's an interesting one.
Yeah, Michael Fassbender, there is a moment in that where your Ken Mayer or Killarney accent just comes right out, though. Just for Irish people, you'll know what we're talking about. G'day Mike gets right back into Irish accent for 2 words, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, you should check the beach scene.
It's exactly it.
The real enemy is out there. I feel their guns moving on the water. Their metal targeting us.
So in 2011, my choice is Moneyball, and Patrick's is
Drive. So, would you like to do the hand gesture for 2012?
Oh. Was that
Hopefully that, yeah. Well,
I don't know what we're going to do.
You know what? You'll have seen how well we worked out some on-screen graphics. So 2012, you're first?
So I'm going to build up to this.
I think I know why.
Okay, so the honorable mentions, The Avengers, the first Avengers movie. It's a fantastic movie, great by Joss Whedon, really able to balance a massive cast together really, really well. And the best exotic marigold hotel.
I was not expecting him to say that.
It is a great film. It's just a lot of heart. It's a fun film with Bill Nye and, literally all the oldies.
Oh, yeah,
kind of
Maggie
things.
Smith and everybody's in it. Yeah,
it's great. Pitch Perfect, because Anna Kendrick is in it.
Also wasn't on my list, but you know what? I back him all the way for all you haters out there. I think the first Pitch Perfect was a brilliant film.
And then some quick honorable mentions: The Hunger Games, The Cabin in the Woods, Prometheus, The Amazing Spider-Man, Dark Knight Rises, and Looper. Ooh. My choice, though, is Dread.
I think we might be talking about that again in a moment. Well, actually, no, we're going to have to talk about it now, because Dread was also my top choice, and I think it's only right. So hit it. It was your top choice first.
Dread is the 2012 which goes essentially not remake, but which goes retelling of a story from the Dreads from like 2000 AD. Kind of.
It was the first proper telling of the Dredd story.
I liked the Stallone one, but the Dredd character really came out as Carl Urban really, really displayed it. So much so that I can't wait. I really wish they did a second one. They got the world really correct. Some of the like Easter eggs of Chopper still lives and all that kind of stuff. Recycle everything was really, really good. And the story is very simple and very well done, which is you've got the slow motion really well done. Visuals were perfect. I can't remember your woman's name who plays. She was perfect as Mama.
Yeah,
like really, really vicious and stuff. You can really tell, like, Game of Thrones really kind of like, she can switch between solid,
hardcore. She can turn on the hardcore.
Really much so. So it's a really good film.
Because we're not even going to bother pretending like it's not my top pick as well. It is my top pick, and I can back up what you just said and add very little other than to say it really is. I went to the cinema, saw it in 3D, and it was an incredible experience. It's one of those films that I wish they would re-release, because there then would be a sequel, because a lot of people now realize that it's good and would have gone to see it if the advertising campaign hadn't been so crummy and rubbish. The way they use slow-mo, the way they use the setting, the contained tower block nature of it all. A lot of people compare it to The Raid. It's because The Raid's great. It's because the action is great. The story is great. But the way it's shot and told is just sublime.
Yeah.
Also, he keeps his helmet on, so good job.
That is very important.
So is it me now to work my way back down from my top pick of Dread? Well, a lot of our honourable mentions cross over. I think, obviously, you have to mention Avengers, because it was just a cinema experience extraordinary. It's one of the first films I ever walked out of and straight away got on my phone to book tickets for the next day. I'd never done that before.
Wow.
Looper I thought was great. Argo is a film, it did make the Oscars list. I really enjoyed it. Oh yes, we have an Oscars video about that. But Cabin in the Woods was my main honourable mention. And because we both picked Dread, I'm going to give Cabin in the Woods like 2 sentences. If you haven't seen it and you like the horror genre, see it. Because it's the perfect, it's not a send-up, it's like an homage / really good version of an awful lot of Cabin in the Woods slasher films.
Yes.
If you do not like horror, it is a really good send-up / homage to horror films. It's really easy to watch for it, because I'm not a horror guy.
Yeah.
I loved it. I absolutely adore that film. It's Joss Whedon at his best.
It's very much in the sense that as not a horror person, you still know the tropes and everything like that, so it's all really nicely clear.
It's so accessible for anybody. It was so accessible for somebody like me. I was able to giggle at all the in-jokes. It did a great job of bringing the outsiders in. Watch it, you'll love it. Enjoy every twist that's in it too. Not spoiling that one. Is it
so
me?
Our choice for 2012? Dread.
Yeah, it's easy. Just one image or word or whatever we come up with in the edit. I can't remember, was it me or you next?
2013 is yours.
Oh gosh. Okay, 2013. I'll be really quick. My honorable mentions are Her, where Joaquin Phoenix, and what we all worry Siri will become. It's actually genuinely a great film. Joaquin Phoenix doesn't do bad films. Top tip: if he's in a film, you probably should watch it. It's really good. Even Space Camp. That
is a callback.
That's a deep cut for the older folks out there.
What was that robot's name?
Right here. Basketball.
Yeah,
he was a basketball-shaped robot.
Literally a robot that they built in the 90s, 80s, and he has AI with shuttles. You look it up.
Yeah, actually, there's a whole video coming at some stage about Space Camp. I should now know that.
We'll do it for a Tuesday video.
Back to my honorable mentions, 2013. There's Her. I'm saying Now You See Me for Paul because
fuck that movie.
Because Abracadabra, I genuinely think it's an underrated film. It's enjoyable, fluffy, fun, gorgeousness with nice visuals.
It's got a bit of a charm to it, but it's just that line that really pisses me off, which has an FBI agent or a CIA agent going, "Abracadabra, you're being taken off this case." It's just like you're an adult.
Oh, you don't need to explain because we just showed the clip.
The level of incompetence displayed on this case, that's a magic trick in and of itself. Abracadabra, I'm taking over.
You're an adult, sir.
The other things to mention that year and the kind of dishonorable mentions for me was Man of Steel, because I have it against that film. It could have been so much better than it was. But Rush, not my top pick. Rush is not my top pick. Rush is my kind of most honorable mention. Okay. Rush is the Niki Lauda James Hunt story, that because I'm a car guy, obviously I'm a racing guy, people think, oh yeah, you like it because of that. It's one of the few films that a lot of people who would usually hate that sort of film come to me and go, do you know what? Actually, that was just really good cinema. And it was. Ron Howard did well. My top pick for the year is not the best film of all time, but it was one of the best cinema experiences. I went to the IMAX in 2013 and I saw Gravity. I saw Gravity in full IMAX, full everything, full I'm hanging out in space. Mm-hmm. It was a good enough story, well enough told, on what was an amazing canvas. So I had to pick it as my top film of that year for my film experience.
Okay.
Don't hate me for not picking 12 Years a Slave, because it's a much better film.
12 Years a Slave is still good, but we're trying to slightly avoid kind of best pictures because we've done an entire series on those. So Gravity's my pick because it's one hell of a ride. If you got to see it in 2013, it was the ride of a lifetime. Yeah, it's very, very good. I really did enjoy it. All right, okay, so I'm going to do my top honourable picks, which is Captain Phillips, which is the Tom Hanks film. It's a great film, just a nice kind of thing. Oblivion. Tom Cruise and Oblivion is like the perfect, it's like Tom Cruise peak moments of him.
Cruise.
Yeah, for me anyway. He's really good at the actiony parts. He's like, but it's the reminiscing of the baseball game in the stadium when he's like fixing the droid. It's just like, that's Tom Cruise kind of this. Pacific Rim, because my boy, Del Toro.
Del Toro is his boy.
Which goes some quick honorable mentions: Warm Bodies, The Croods, Iron Man 3, Man of Steel, which goes Frozen, and Oldboy. The reason it's Frozen is because it was one of the seen as one of the best movies, and my girlfriend gave me the best line. I was like, "What's this movie about?" And she went, "Ice." That's all she said to me. I didn't know what that film was about at all when I went to see it. Let it go.
She's awesome.
Great. My top pick is Elysium.
Good choice.
I did like Elysium. Elysium is Neil Blomkart's, which goes dystopian future kind of thing with angel elf people who live in a ring called Elysium. It is a great film. I know a lot of people don't like it, but just the design, like the concepts, the designs, the props, sets, everything like that is just, it's Neil Blomkart's like a perfect showcase of what he does. And I was like, if people can't see like the joys of the designs and everything like that, I don't understand why they can't like an Alien 3 film done by Neil Blomkart.
I have an answer for why people unfairly dismiss that film. District 9 was Neil Blomkamp's brilliant opening moment, and that's what put him in everybody's consciousness. And I think there was just an awful lot of people who were like, anything that's not District 10 or whatever. I think it got a lot of unfair flack that it didn't deserve. I really liked Elysium. I thought it was a really good film, and I agree with you from a design and production design and execution. I thought it was great. I thought it was great, and I happen to like Matt Damon too. So get the two of those guys together.
And I can't remember her name.
Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster. Her weird accent is weird. I will give you that one. I don't understand why she went for that accent.
It's Jodie Foster.
But Jodie Foster's really, really good in it. So I'm doing 2014. Well, sorry.
So our top picks for 2013 were Gravity and
Elysium.
There you go, Gravity and Elysium.
So 2014. Ooh.
Hit me, Paul. Is it you?
So, yes, I start.
Please do.
So,
sorry, 2014.
Okay, so I'm going to go quickly into this. So some of my mentions. The Lego movie, Captain America, The Winter Soldier. It's a great film. I'm mentioning it, so don't go, kill me. Guardians of the Galaxy, which is also a great film. Interstellar.
Oh, yeah. I had some issues with Interstellar, but yeah.
So my top honorable picks are Transcendence. I don't think it gets the love that it has or should. It's the which is Johnny Depp film about AI and the transcendence of humankind into AI. Which is, I also like The Edge of Tomorrow. Tom Cruise once again doing a great film. Live, Die and Repeat, I think is
his best film in my opinion. But hey,
which is John Wick. John Wick gets an honorable mention.
So how good is your best one if John Wick gets an honorable mention?
And I got to tell you, John Wick is a very good one, but Fury.
See, Fury is also on my list. It didn't get my number one, but God, it was in contention.
Fury was one of those films that I came out of and I felt like distressed and like very much like drained. So I was just like, oh God, I haven't watched it since, just because I know that feeling of which I'll have again. The crew are all great. Brad Pitt is fantastic. Shia LaBeouf is good.
John Bernthal. The cast is off the charts.
Fantastic. The things that director had to do to get those guys out to do the thing is not great, but it's a great film.
If you haven't seen it and you're wondering why you should, if you ever watched Saving Private Ryan and thought that's really good, watch Fury and get to experience a different version of that in so much more of a dramatic way. Fury's awesome. It's one of the few films that Paul gave me that I meant to get around to, and I just went, you know what, the way he just talked about it, I'm going to watch it straight away, and I instantly loved it. So Fury, hell of a top pick.
Yeah.
Questioning my own top pick almost, because I'm going to quickly run through mine. I have a note here saying 2014, one of the best years ever. So I'm going to fly through my honorable mentions. Edge of Tomorrow, Fury, Whiplash, Nightcrawler, Jake Gyllenhaal at his best, Equalizer, because it was just a lovely...
Denzel Washington
was great. John Wick, also Winter Soldier. I'm glad you mentioned it. What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, that was the one that
It's also him getting Taika Waititi into this video.
Yeah, no, I missed that. Taika Waititi finally learned his name thanks to this show.
Yeah, and Gone Girl, a film that I rate so incredibly highly that it was my top pick when I was going, we're not going to pick Oscar films. Mm-hmm. But Gone Girl got knocked off because I had to pick Birdman. I had to pick Birdman because even though Gone Girl is what I should be saying right now, because we're supposed to be avoiding Oscar films, I can't. Birdman. It is everything I've already said about it, and then some. And every time I watch it, I love it more. If you want to know more about what I think of Birdman, check it out over there. I won't waste your time right now. So 2014, Paul. Birdman and Fury.
Yeah.
Can't say fairer than that. Let us know what you think of our picks. So this was part one. You've got to tune in next Thursday for part two. We would love in the meantime to hear your choices for those years. So if you think we should have mentioned something that we didn't, if you think we're crazy for picking anything that we did, sound off down below. And while you're on your way down to write a comment, pass by the subscribe button, maybe even a like button. We always like to have them clicked.
And ring that notification so that you can make sure that you catch the part two of this series. Of this episode.
And with that, we'll see you next time when we do 2015 to 2019. Mm-hmm. The second half of the tens decade? Is that what they're calling this decade?
I don't know, millennium. Okay, boomer.
Oh.
We're topical. I've been Paul.
And I've been Patrick, apparently.
And we've been Here to Say It.
We'll see you next time.